Alright, guys, what's up? You already know who it is. It's your boy, Phone Games. And I'm back at it again. You can't see me, but I'm really rocking in this bitch. Man, you look, I'm really rocking. Take it in the most I can say. I'm gonna stop. But, as y'all might be able to see in the middle of the screen, I'm gonna be reacting to my man, Mike Korzemba. He's a motherfucking GOAT. He does great videos on the NBA and how it's rigged, and he's real talented with the way he can present his facts in such an intriguing way. That's why I fuck with him. And today we're gonna be watching the NBA's most unbelievable playoff upsets, top 5. So if you're ready for this, let's get it.
Obviously.
They're Swedish.
Fucking advertisements, get the fuck out of here.
Today we're looking at the greatest
Good,
upsets
baby.
in NBA playoffs.
How you doing, Mike?
So how are you
You
guys
doing good, bud?
My name is Mike, and today's video is actually pretty special
Turn it
because
up for y'all.
it's just
Do y'all go?
It's a change of pace from the NBA we're used to. Because unlike college basketball, where there's tons of upsets in the NCAA tournament, and there's always a few Cinderella teams, the NBA playoffs usually are pretty predictable. Normally, the top seeds end up playing in the finals, but today, I'm going to show you that throughout basketball history, that was not always the case. And quick note, guys, before we get started, I just want to say it is now the NBA playoffs, as you know, which means I'm going to be on my grind. In the next 10 days, I'm going to be posting 5 main channel videos. And of course, if you're
get
not
that money
already
then, Mike.
subscribed, then
Get that money
subscribe
then, bud.
because I'm telling you right now, these videos are going to be awesome. So anyway,
Bangers,
jumping into
nigga,
the video,
fuck you
number 5, the
5.
1994 Denver Nuggets. From 1991 to 1993, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls dominated the NBA.
Second best player of all
After 3
time.
straight
Fuck you mean.
championships, teams
LeBron's
around
a
the
goat.
league began to view the Bulls as an unbeatable force. But then Jordan surprised the world with his decision to retire from basketball to play baseball, and suddenly teams around the league smelled blood. Finally, with the Bulls out of the picture, teams saw a chance to win a title before a potential Jordan comeback. And the favorite of these new championship contenders were the loaded Seattle Supersonics. Led by future Hall of Famer Gary Payton and all-star starter Shawn Kemp, the Sonics rolled through the regular season and finished with the league's top record at 63-19. They were tabbed as championship favorites in the regular season, but as they would soon find out, the NBA playoffs are a different monster entirely. In the first round of the Western Conference playoffs, the top-seeded Sonics found themselves matching up against the 8th-seeded Denver Nuggets in a 5-game series. Everyone thought this matchup was just a mere formality. The Sonics were supposed to take care of business quickly and continue their championship run. And after Seattle won their first 2 games by a combined 34 points, everything appeared to be going as planned. But then the Nuggets, who did not have a single All-Star on their roster, blew out the Sonics in Game 3. And Game 4 saw Seattle blow a 7-point lead at the end of the 4th quarter and then get blown out in overtime. And then Game 5 brought us to another overtime where, with the Sonics down by 2, Shawn Kemp drove to the basket and was denied by a young Dikembe Mutombo. One of his 31 blocks for the series and his 8th of the game. These 31 blocks would set a record for most blocks in a 5-game playoff series, but most importantly, the Nuggets held on to this series-clinching win, and we saw Dikembe Mutombo fall to the ground holding the ball in one of the most iconic moments in NBA history, as this picture showed the joy of a man who had just led his team to the first 8-seed over 1-seed upset the league had ever seen. Number 4.
Was that when it was 5-game series?
Now, this was a lockout year, so things were a little weird. But with that said, the 1999 Knicks were one of the biggest surprise playoff teams to ever step foot on an NBA court. As in the shortened 99 regular season, New York only managed to put together a 27-23 record and wound up with the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Knicks were led by Patrick Ewing, who looked like he was washed up, Allen Houston, who had yet to grow into an all-star, and Latrell Sprewell, who had yet to recover mentally Miami from choking his coach a few seasons ago. So, in other words, New York hardly looked like a playoff contender, which is why it was so surprising when out of nowhere they began the 99 playoffs with a blowout win over the top-seeded Miami Heat. This win marked the beginning of a Cinderella run for New York. As 4 games later, the Knicks clinched the series in Miami on a game-winning buzzer beater by Allen Houston.
Hold on, let me pause this.
First time in NBA.
For y'all niggas probably saying your favorite team after LeBron, nigga. No. Before LeBron, nigga. Fuck. I started watching Miami when they went to the finals against the Mavericks in what, 06, 07? Nigga, the fuck y'all talking about, nigga? Got me clicking shit. Damn, let me stop.
History that an 8 seed took down a 1 seed in a 7-game series, but the Knicks were not satisfied with their new place in history. As from there, they continued their run with a sweep over the Hawks and entered the Eastern Conference Finals against the 2nd-seeded Pacers with a chance to build on their historic accomplishments, as if they won this series, they would become the first 8 seed in NBA history to ever make the NBA Finals. However, their odds to make the Finals did not look very promising, as the veteran Indiana Pacers, led by Reggie Miller, Mark Jackson, and Chris Mullin, were coming into the Eastern Conference Finals red hot after sweeping their previous 2 opponents. And to make things even worse, Patrick Ewing went down with a season-ending Achilles injury in Game 2, which meant the Knicks' most experienced player would be forced to watch the rest of the series from the bench. But somehow, New York managed to overcome every obstacle thrown at them. After splitting their first 2 games, the Knicks found themselves down 3 late in Game 3. They went to Larry Johnson, who pulled up and drained an and-one 3 and made the free throw to give New York the win and the series momentum. From there, the Knicks would close out the Pacers in 6 games, cementing their place in history as the only 8 seed to ever reach the NBA Finals. And yeah, they would lose to the Spurs in the NBA Finals, but the Knicks actually made NBA history. The Knicks! Knicks fans, I know you feel bad now, but I hope this cheered you up a little bit. And so moving on with this list, we're going
the Knicks, they tripping right now, dog.
Over 1 seeds, and we're looking at number 3, the 1976 Phoenix Suns.
That's an older ass team, man.
In the 1976 regular season, the Warriors were the best team in the NBA, hands down. They were absolutely loaded, as their roster contained future Hall of Famer Rick Barry, a first-team All-NBA selection in 76, as well as second-team All-NBA selection.
Y'all hear that motherfucking train back there? Who the fuck? Who the fuck told that train to make that loud ass noise, nigga? I'm about to blow that motherfucker up, boy. Fuck you mean? Hey, can y'all be quiet, nigga? I'm recording. Fuck. GTA 5, y'all niggas, boy. Fuck you mean? Hop on that motherfucker and blow y'all niggas up, boy.
Phil Smith, and a third All-Star in Jamal Wilkes. On top of this, the Warriors were the defending
How the fuck you find
NBA
footage from 1976?
Swept the Bullets in 1975 to take home the 75
it must have been invented by then. They watching basketball.
And so it goes without saying that Golden State was everyone's pick to win another championship this year, and up until the Western Conference Finals, things were looking great. This was especially true because their opponent, the Phoenix Suns, were a 3 seed that had only won 42 games in the regular season and had already lost 4 games to Golden State in that season. But again, as history has shown us, anything can happen in a 7-game series. And so let's fast forward to Game 4, where the Golden State Warriors hold a 2-1 series lead over the Suns. The Warriors had the ball and led by 1 point with 8 seconds left.
Damn, they've been choking their whole life.
There was no 3-point line, so if Derek Dickey made both of these shots, the game would be pretty much decided. But Dickey missed one of his 2 free throws, the Suns ran the ball down the court, and Keith Erickson drained a clutch jumper to send the game into overtime. And in overtime, the Warriors led by 2 with 13 seconds left and again had the ball, but they missed. Ricky Sobers drew a foul, and he made both free throws to send the game into a second overtime. And in overtime number 3, the Suns grinded out a must-win 4-point victory, tying the series at 2 games apiece. Now, Golden State would win Game 5, but in Game 6, the Warriors again led with 15 seconds left before Alvin Adams cut back door and scored a layup that would give Phoenix a 1-point lead. On the other end, the Warriors scrambled and were forced to give the ball to Jamal Wilkes, who who bricked a shot and gave Phoenix another series-tying victory. And so, after coming through time and time again in the clutch in games 4 and 6, the Suns were just not going to be denied this giant upset in game 7. And indeed, they pulled out an 8-point victory on the road, denying the Warriors a chance to defend their title. Number 2. The 2007 Golden State Warriors.
Fuck the Warriors,
2007 was supposed to be Dirk Nowitzki's year. The previous season had seen him suffer a crushing defeat in the NBA Finals at the hands of a Miami Heat team led by Dwayne Wade and Shaq. And that offseason, Dirk found himself haunted by the lost championship he felt he deserved. And so he spent the summer working harder than he had ever worked before, and this hard work resulted in some massive success. The Mavericks finished the 2007 regular season as the top seed in the West with a 67-15 record. Dirk was named the league's MVP, and it seemed Dallas was playing out a modern tale of redemption. Only when looking towards the finals, the Mavs overlooked their first-round opponent, the Golden State Warriors. Led by Baron Davis, Jason Richardson, and Steven Jackson, the Warriors certainly seemed to have more talent than their 42-40 record would suggest. At the very least, this 8 seed believed they could beat the Mavericks, and
that team was nasty though.
To a shocking 97-85 victory in Game 1. This loss seemed to rattle Dirk and the Mavs, and this Game 1 result would prove to be no fluke. Throughout the series, the Mavericks had no answer for Golden State's talented trio. Davis, Richardson, and Jackson would combine to average over 67 points a game, while Dirk scored less than 20 a game and shot worse than 40% from the field. A noticeable drop-off from the MVP season he had enjoyed just weeks before. And with their star players struggling, Dallas found it hard to gain any real momentum, and to be honest, it just seemed like the Warriors wanted this series more. A fact that was exemplified in Game 6, where Baron Davis fought through a nagging hamstring injury in a truly gutsy performance to help lead the Warriors to a blowout series-clinching victory. The deciding Game 6 saw Baron finish with 20 points, 10 assists, and 6 rebounds, while Dirk choked. He scored just 8 points on 2 of 13 shooting and let his team down when they needed him the most. At least the Mavericks did redeem themselves in 2011, and this embarrassing loss was definitely used as motivation for that championship run. And number 1, the 2011 Memphis Grizzlies. Heading into the 2011 playoffs, all eyes were on LeBron James and the newly formed Big Three in Miami. While the Heat were Eastern Conference favorites to reach the NBA Finals, many people believed their newly formed roster would choke and fall before the championship series. However, it turned out the Heat were fine, and the real team we should have been looking at was the veteran San Antonio Spurs, the top seed in the West and the favorites to reach the NBA Finals. Because in the first round of the playoffs, the Spurs were given all they could handle by the new kids on the block, the 8th-seeded Memphis Grizzlies. Now, at the time, this was a Memphis franchise that had not only missed the playoffs for the last 4 years, but they had also never won a single playoff game in their entire history as a franchise. But that would change in Game 1 as the Grizzlies won by 3. And by the time this series was over, Memphis not only found itself with its first playoff win, they found themselves with their first playoff series win, which was pretty amazing because not only was this an 8 seed over 1 seed upset, but this was also a relatively new franchise taking down one of the most established and successful teams in NBA history. The key to this series win was the 1-2 punch of Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph. As in 6 games, Gasol averaged a double-double while Randolph bullied his way to 21.5
Mike Conley would have been a little bit better back then. They could have really made some noise in that
on the other side of the court, basketball legend Tim Duncan only managed to produce 12.7 points a game and played so poorly down the stretch that he had everyone convinced the Spurs dynasty and his career were pretty much over. Now, of course, that wouldn't happen as the Spurs won a championship just 3 years later. But this 2011 upset did inspire the Spurs to take a risk and trade for Kawhi Leonard, who at the time was a prospect with clear potential, but no one thought he was going to become an eventual superstar. So
Indiana always
this
fucking
is
up, boy.
Because even when the Spurs looked like they lost, they ended up getting Kawhi Leonard. I swear, Pop must know some kind of voodoo magic. I mean, that's the only explanation for this.
Yeah, it's crazy,
guys,
bro.
That wraps up today's video. I know
Well, y'all know what it is. It's your boy Phone Games. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, give this video a like, a comment, subscribe if you're new, share with your friends and family. And we out it be. Peace.